What is it actually like to live in Da Nang? You've probably heard that Da Nang is one of the top places for expats in Southeast Asia, but why? What exactly makes this mid-sized coastal city in central Vietnam so appealing? I spent 2.5 years living in Da Nang, and this video is on what life is like there. From the weather, the costs, the food, the quirks, and generally what to expect if you move there. Da Nang is no longer a sleepy backpacker town that it used to be. It's evolving fast, construction's booming, and as the city is growing in popularity, prices are climbing too. Having said that, it's still a comfortable, affordable place to live, especially if you compare it to Western standards. And now it's still a good time to visit or even move here. Back in the early 2000s, this place looked completely different. But now this is a beach destination with an international airport, a solid expat community, and a lifestyle that's surprisingly easy to settle into. Before we get into the details though, please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the Elitka channel for a lot more on living abroad as an expat or a nomad. Living in Da Nang as a couple cost us around $1,800 a month, all in. This includes rent, utilities, groceries, daily meals out, and even short trips every now and then. We actually lucked out and we became friends with a guy who later became our landlord, and he gave us a very good price of $430 per month for a 2-bedroom apartment not too far away from the beach. This is on the lower end, but it's still not unheard of to get prices like that. 1-bedroom apartments generally cost around $250 to $300, and I personally know a guy who's renting a 3-story, 3-bedroom house for just about $700 a month. Prices are still generally good, but finding a place can be tricky. There is a lot of demand, especially during high season. So your best bet is marking some places on the map and going in person to negotiate. That's not to say that it's all cheap though. There are some luxury hotels around town, and some are better than others, but there is one that's particularly worth mentioning, and that would be the Intercontinental. It's away from everything, located on the outward slopes of the beautiful Son Cha Mountain. The prices there start about $500 per night. So depending on your budget, there is a wide variety of options available. With more and more foreigners coming in every year, the city's got a very decent infrastructure catering to that crowd. For instance, you'll find food from all over. Local, Korean, Indian, there's lots of Koreans and Indians in the city in particular, but also Greek, Russian, Spanish, and even South African and Turkish. But be warned, restaurants do open and close fast here. The restaurant business is generally a tough one, and the market here is highly competitive. So many places come and go fast, even if they're good. C'est la vie. Safety-wise, Da Nang might be one of the safest cities I've ever lived in my life, with scarcely any street crime at all, day or night. We walked around at all hours and never had any issues. People here are some of the friendliest ever, and in 2.5 years, the worst thing that happened to us was a guy on a scooter passing by us and slapping my wife's butt. We were actually pretty impressed by his skill. He didn't even slow down. But again, that's the worst thing that ever happened to us there. Day-to-day life is generally pretty smooth as well. You got Grab for everything, for transport, for food, whatever. You got different taxi applications, and if you use one of them, a driver will generally come to your place within minutes. Shopping's very easy. There are many convenience stores all over the place, such as Full Market, Winmart, and Moon Milk, as well as large department stores such as Mega or Lotte Mart. And of course, there are many traditional markets as well, the biggest one being the Han Market, right in the center of the city. There is also a night market near the head of the Dragon Bridge, and keep in mind, by the way, that the Dragon Bridge spews fire and water every day at 9 p.m., with crowds gathering to see it. It's actually pretty cool. It's quite a show, but again, there will be many people around pretty much always. As in many other places in Vietnam, Da Nang has an excellent coffee culture with different degrees of fancy scattered all around town. There is even a chocolate manufacturer here, founded by a guy from Barcelona. I have an interview with him. He moved his family's 100-plus-year-old business from Barcelona to Da Nang. This is a pretty interesting interview. You can watch it right here. Healthcare in Da Nang is decent, though I found it to be a bit hit or miss. There are many hospitals in town. Some are better than others. Prices vary widely as well. My experience was pretty varied, although there are people who never had any problems here. But dental care in Vietnam is surprisingly amazing. I have a video on getting my teeth cleaned in Da Nang with a price tag that many people people will find rather shocking. You can check it out right here. But even without watching that video, you can see the prices for yourself. The weather in Da Nang matters more than you think. Keep in mind that there are very distinct seasons here. March to August is mostly dry, hot, and good for swimming. The sea is calm, the skies are mostly clear. After that, the rainy season slowly creeps in with the occasional storm or typhoon hitting the city. If you plan on living in Da Nang or live there already, make sure to download an app such as Windy or Zoom Earth, which is mighty useful if you want to know in advance what you're going to get hit with. In 2022, I got stuck in Korea due to a typhoon passing directly over the city. When I arrived in Da Nang, I was surprised to see that the beach gets smeared over the road like butter over bread. This was one of the stronger ones. Generally, it's not that bad, although, like I said, Da Nang does get hit by storms fairly frequently. Sometimes the wet season means long periods of drizzle, and all the general moisture means mold. And yes, mold is a thing here. You generally won't notice it as much during the dry season, but it's ubiquitous and can be a problem anytime. One time we left for a couple of weeks, having forgotten to close all the windows, and came back to find many of our clothes covered in mold. Another time I noticed that I keep getting sick, well, I opened the AC and saw that it was completely taken over by the aforementioned hostile life form. Mold is hard to escape, so vinegar and bleach will be your good friends if you want to successfully fight it. Moisture absorbers are also a good thing for sensitive spots. Those can be easily ordered on Shopee or Lazada. Those are two of the most popular websites if you're looking for a place to shop online. During the rainy season, I walk around trolling the locals by saying "Chup mang mua mua," which means happy rainy season. You might sometimes get a nervous laughter as a reaction. Winter temperatures can drop down to about 15-16 degrees Celsius, around 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And while that sounds fairly pleasant, it actually feels far colder due to all the moisture in the air. You'll definitely need to break out a sweater or a hoodie, although many Vietnamese take this winter much more serious. Locals bundle up like it's freezing. Coats, hats, the works. I even saw some fall fur coats and Ushanka hats on the beach. Winter can be a good time for surfing, however, because waves are solid December to April and is generally not too crowded. You'll definitely need a wetsuit because water will be quite chilly, but the beaches are basically empty. Overall, the weather in Da Nang can be fairly unpredictable though, as it is in many seaside cities, so always double check it before you go. Beaches are definitely not always empty though, because this is first and foremost a beach town, with long, wide stretches of sand that go on for miles. Most notably around the city proper, I'm talking about the My An and My Khe Beach. During the high season, there are quite a lot of tourists here, both foreign and local, and the beaches do get quite crowded. The beaches within the city are patrolled by lifeguards who generally herd people into bathing in these fenced-off areas, which results in what I call people soup. Although there are many empty beaches just out of town, a short bike ride from the city will get you to beaches that are scarcely visited by anyone at all. If you like to walk around, there are a few long promenades in the city, on both sides of the Han River, and on both of the largest beaches, the most popular one being along the My An and the My Khe beaches, with plenty of people at nearly all times and lots of cafes all along. Make sure to stop by some of the coconut vendors. The coconuts are amazing here, but never pay more than 30 to 40,000 dong per coconut. They will try though. Aside from the cyclists and the joggers on the promenade, some of the popular activities that the Vietnamese engage in are group dancing and group meditation. Foreigners can come and join anytime, of course. Generally, there is a surprising amount of things to do in the city, from gyms to bowling alleys, tattoo salons, movie theaters. By the way, in Vietnam, movies are never dubbed and are instead shown in the original language, so anybody who's an English speaker will have a pretty good choice of movies to watch. There are also lots of massage salons. Some are great, others not so much. Make sure to read the reviews unless you want somebody matching your back with no clue to what they're actually doing. If it's nightlife you're after, I would say Da Nang is more of a beer city, which means that there are more pubs and beer bars than cocktail bars or nightclubs. You'll find both Vietnamese and expat bars scattered all over, nothing really too wild, but enough to keep your evenings busy. Keep in mind that aside from the outskirts, Da Nang is not a quiet city at all. And one of the downsides of living here is the high levels of noise pollution, as it is just about anywhere else in Vietnam. I'm talking bars, karaoke, vendors on motorbikes, construction, honking, all of that contributes to the noise at all times of the day. Well, long story short, have a look for yourself.
Bye.
Think what you will of it, but that's the way it is, it's not going away, and it's definitely something to consider before moving here. Another downside of Da Nang is that there is not a lot of nature in the city proper. No parks and not many trees. There is plenty, however, if you do get out of the city just a little bit. One of the most obvious destinations is the Son Cha Mountain, which can be easily explored. My wife and I are avid cyclists, so riding all over the mountain was one of our favorite pastimes. For the nature and the occasional wildlife sightings if you're lucky. If you're not a cyclist though, you can of course ride a motorbike, but if you want to get to some of the higher viewpoints, make sure to get a manual one because it does get quite steep. On the lower parts of the mountain, however, along the slopes, there are some beautiful viewpoints also, as well as the large Kwanam statue known as Lady Buddha to the tourists. It's quite massive, quite impressive, and definitely worth a stop along with the neighboring pagoda. There are many other temples and pagodas all over the city, but my personal two favorite ones are the Budaisun right near the Son Cha Mountain and Namsun in the southern part of the city just across the river. Also just south of the city are the Marble Mountains. A very touristy area but still very much worth it, very hikeable with lots of beautiful temples, viewpoints, and caves. And to the west you'll find the Bana Hills, home to the famous Han Bridge, if you want a surreal mix of very long cable car rides and faux European castles built on top of old French estates. If you're into history, there are many ghosts of the past all over the city. Da Nang was actually the first spot where the US troops arrived in Vietnam in 1965. The airport that you will fly into actually used to be a military base, and there is also another one, an old helicopter base about halfway towards the Marble Mountains. You can still spot some of the Wonder Arch hangars in both of them, which will be familiar to you if you've ever seen some of the wartime pictures. There are a few museums in the city with some war relics around, but a particularly interesting bit is that in the Marble Mountains, a field hospital was established by the Viet Cong within earshot of the aforementioned helicopter base. And there is a plaque in the Marble Mountains dedicated to the Viet Cong troops reclaiming mountains from American forces as well. So like I said, if you're a history buff, there are quite a lot of things to see in Da Nang, some of which may be a little bit hidden, but easily found if you know what to look for. If you get tired of Da Nang, remember that you're 30 to 40 minutes away from Hoi An, which is an easy day trip. We've probably visited this beautiful town 8 or 9 times already. The whole town is a UNESCO heritage site and there is a lot of things to see there. Aside from all the touristy stuff, one of the interesting things to do in Hoi An and in Hue, I believe, is getting your clothing made. There are a lot of tailor shops in Hoi An. We were told that many people who established these shops used to actually work in clothing factories all over Vietnam. Whether that's true or not, they're definitely applying their skills and they can make a lot of good clothing for you for a fraction of the price you would pay in any Western country. So like for example, this shirt I got made for about $20 and I'm pretty sure I paid the tourist price. A short way from Hoi An is a pier where you can catch a boat to the nearby Cham Islands. And also not too far away there is the My Son, ruins from when the Champa people ruled this area. Another beautiful destination not too far away from Da Nang is the city of Hue, which is just a few hours north if you're looking to explore some imperial architecture or some of the best food in central Vietnam. This is where Bun Bo Hue comes from. This is a really cool city to visit. I definitely encourage you to do so. There's a lot of things to see there. Aside from the Imperial Citadel, don't forget to visit the Emperor Mausoleums and the abandoned water park, which is another really cool destination. A few hours to the south is the quiet and mostly untouched by expats city of Quy Nhon. It's a little further out, but it's very underrated. Generally, traveling out from Da Nang is super easy. You've got the railway station, the bus terminal, and the international airport all within city limits. We actually first arrived in the city by overnight train from Hanoi, which was an interesting experience in itself. If you do take the train in Vietnam, I hope you like babies, because apparently that's how a lot of Vietnamese moms travel cross-country avoiding airplanes. So yeah, Da Nang is easy, affordable, weird in places, but incredibly livable. It's not perfect, but if you're looking for a comfortable base in Vietnam with access to beaches, food, and solid infrastructure, it's a strong contender. And if you're planning your next move from Da Nang, check out my video on where to travel from Vietnam. I'll link the video here and the description. If I forgot something, or if you got something to add about Da Nang, please write a comment, and of course don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the Elitka channel. Thank you very much for watching, and stay nomad.